Have I ever felt that no one was there? Yes. Have I felt sometimes that God wasn't there? Yes. And I think most of us do at times.
I think that's
I've learned so
way to
much
end
in our
this.
conversation about this.
I know,
So
me
much
too.
more. Let's go see it again.
And that's... Welcome to Unraveling Stories. Today I'm here with Kurt Metzger. He's a composer and a dear friend of our family's. We are talking about Dear Evan Hansen.
It's a story about a young man who's a senior, beginning his senior year in high school. He has a broken arm, and almost symbolically, this broken arm represents, is almost a metaphor for this young man who's broken. This metaphor of waving through a window, he's trying to have other people see him, but they don't see him. And he doesn't say tap, tap, tap on the glass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's tapping on that glass. And I like that image because he's tapping. What if he hit the glass really hard?
Right,
I hadn't thought about that until now.
Okay.
But tapping on the glass, of course it's not going to break and people aren't going to hear you. Because you realize he doesn't have social skills. And it all is like a big snowball. If he had a little bit of social interactive skills, he'd be able to probably tap a little bit louder. People would get to know. I'm speaking metaphorically.
He might open the window.
He might
he
open instead of
leaves
tapping.
this.
Very good.
Yeah, it's
Very
this
good.
barrier between him and everyone else.
Yeah.
So even if they know he's there, it's like he can't connect with them.
I've learned to slam on the brake before
Can you find it?
I turn the key.
I even turned the key.
Before I even turn the key. He's afraid. He's afraid to make connections. And so he's learned to tap instead of, I love what you said, instead of open the window and climb out or climb into those situations. Yeah, is this waving through a window? So, yeah, I got nothing to share. So this is incredible. I got nothing to share. So I got nothing to share. No, I got nothing to say. No confidence. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun because you've learned no one's looking, right?
Yeah.
And you hear this, that he returns to that sentiment about stepping out of the sun later in the musical.
Okay.
At the end of
Which goes along with the window, like almost like he's indoors and he
Yes.
could climb out of the window and into the sun, into the
it gives me
outdoors.
shivers right now as I think about this because it's such a beautiful and poignant story of a kid just wanting to be loved.
You know, as long as he was focused on, I'm broken, I need to fix myself, I have all these problems, why isn't anybody friends with me? And turning that into, oh, this poor family, let me focus on them and how can I help them? How can I make sure Connor's not forgotten, even though I've been forgotten? And through focusing on others, he finds himself and he finds his true friends, like you said. So tell me what your thoughts are on the powerful themes of Dear Evan Hansen.
He's been asked by this Connor Project group to, they now decide they want to have a big high school, assembly in honor, in memoriam of Connor, who has taken his life.
And of course they choose his best friend, Evan, to give the speech.
Right. And you see, even before you hear the words of this song, you see once again in an incredibly solid acting moment, Evan is just verbalizing, or he's reading his little cards, no music involved, and he drops the cards on the floor and he goes to the floor, and it's one of my favorite bits of acting from this show. You see he's
feel
broken.
the awkwardness.
And by the way,
and the
any of you who
brokenness.
want to watch this online somehow, you don't feel that either. You've got to go to the show to feel as Angel was just saying, 900 people in an auditorium and maybe more. There's silence, you could hear a pin drop. But then the song starts, and what are the first words, Lydia? Have you ever...
I felt like nobody was there.
Yes, that's a huge theme. Don't we all feel that? I know I have felt that a lot in my life. Have I ever felt that no one was there? Yes. Have I felt sometimes that God wasn't there? Yes, and I think most of us do at times.
Oh, yeah.
Life is a school, and if we try to do good things, we'll ultimately, I believe, succeed in various ways. So yeah, you will be found. You hear in this, you have this contrast, this incredible contrast of moments before the song begins. You see Evan on the ground, and he doesn't know how to get up. Physically, he's in front of his peers, of which there's no one that really likes him. He's on the ground in an embarrassing moment. He dropped the index cards. And then the contrast, when he finally gets up and finds within him the strength, and I think he finds within him that strength because he's no longer thinking about his situation of dropping the cards. He's thinking about this poor other kid who is no longer even on the earth.
Okay, once again, changing his focus from himself to someone else.
And then, I mean, this is again, it's a wonderful metaphor for when you focus on someone else and his need to be recognized and helped, he finds strength. And I hadn't thought about that either. He finds strength to stand up and then sings this anthem. We can be found, we will be found, hopefully. I know there are some situations where one is not, but in most cases, we want to hold on. Certainly, we always want to hold on to that notion that we will be found. And yes, despite the fact that we feel alone, hopefully that finding will occur. He fabricates a song, as I mentioned, about this experience that he and Connor had at the orchard, and they were up in the tree and saw sky for forever. It was almost like a metaphor of nothing is impossible. And they talk about what boys would talk about in thinking about their futures. And I think the sky just represents the limitless possibilities of a young person in their life as they looked forward towards the future. And after all of this story has unfolded and the difficult things that Evan has gone through, he has this hope nonetheless. The final thing we hear in the whole show, Evan by himself, all I see is sky for forever.
And doesn't it end, you're the music person, doesn't it end on a note that is not...
It's not
like a closure note?
It's resolved.
Resolved, that's the word.
That's right.
Yeah.
And to the major, tonic, I think it's called, something like that. And here you have that note that just lingers. It's not completely resolved.
It's not resolved.
It's hopeful. And when he sees
the story continues after this.
And that goes with the line, all I see is sky for forever. He sees the options, that there's no limit to what he can do. And I think that's what he could have said, all I see is that tree from where I fell, and on the ground. But he looks at the sky and I think it's a beautiful way to end the musical. He is full of hope and possibilities.
I hope this video was inspiring to you. Subscribe if you want to see more common threads.